Mark Tatum, Deputy Commissioner and COO of the National Basketball Association.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here with you all.
Dr. Richard Lapchick, thanks for being with us here on R&R on Sports.
Thank you for having me.
Civil rights icon, Dr. Edwards, how are you today?
I'm doing a heck of a lot better than I deserve, I'll tell you that.
Sports commentator, Scoop Jackson.
Good to be back on with you all.
Ian Griffey Jr., how are you today, sir?
I'm good. How about you guys?
It's R&R on Sports.
R&R on Sports. R&R on Sports. R&R on
Hello and welcome to R&R on Sports. I'm Howard Robertson.
And I'm the great one, Larry Robinson.
And we are thrilled to be back.
Man, excited.
With you. What's going on, man?
Man, sitting here drinking this I ain't gonna say it. It's Irish cream and coffee until they send us a check
until
for
they
sponsorship.
start paying you. That's exactly right.
That's it.
You've been giving them free.
I know. That's free.
Free
I was
ads.
giving free ads.
Yes,
Free
yes.
ads. Free ads.
We free. We here.
Not anymore.
So we're gonna talk about golf. We're gonna talk about golf.
Wait a minute. You said my boy wasn't coming back. And my boy done made it back to the Masters, done played in the PGA, and done played in a couple other tournaments. Now, he ain't doing all that he needs to do. But he's back. He's back.
No.
Yes, you did. You said he wasn't going to play again.
Please be precise.
You said he was not going to play again. See, that's why I don't like you.
I didn't say that.
You said Tiger was not going to ever play in the PGA again. Yes, you did.
Stop lying.
No, that's what you
said,
bro.
I never said that. What I said was,
I told you to put some respect on his name.
What I said was, don't expect the Tiger to be the Tiger he was pre-accident.
Now, see, that's some hindsight, revisionist history
that has proven to be true.
See, that's why I don't like doing shows
nobody's
with old
more
people.
thrilled than he's doing what he's doing.
Wait a minute, America.
But
that's why I have a problem doing shows with older individuals.
There are two things.
It's because they revise history based on their limited and shortening memory. I am sick of this, man.
Shortening memory. Is that like Grease, Wesson, or something?
As Alzheimer's and all of that begins to set in.
Here's what I said. I said, and I hope. Did you see Tiger in the PGA?
Yes.
Did you see walking from hole to hole?
Yes.
What did you notice about that?
He was limping.
Not only was he limping,
he was in pain.
Had a club. He had a club as a cane.
Yeah,
as a walking stick. That, and then the other thing is, obviously, he had to withdraw. Never done that in his career. So I just don't want people to have expectations.
He never been a 40-plus-year-old man in his career,
and he had never had an accident.
Exactly where he was
near.
But like I said, dude, he's got the
serious
heart
accident like that
of a
absolutely,
Tiger.
Absolutely,
he is
absolutely.
Tiger.
No doubt.
And guess
No
what?
doubt.
Guess what? I'm gonna make a proclamation again. He's going to win again. Do you want to put some money on it this time?
I hope he does. I hope
Yeah,
you're
and don't
right.
be hoping now.
I hope you're right for a
after you done
change.
played him all to the left and carrying on. See, man, I'll tell you about these old fair weather friends. See, you were the kind of kid that when Memphis was winning, you was cheering. But then when they started losing, you start cheering for the team in Tennessee.
You know better than this.
You start
know
cheering
better
for
than
University
this.
of Tennessee.
You know better than
and then you
this.
start wearing orange shirts and stuff. See, that's why
somebody we both know brought me a T-shirt, and you know what they had on it? Memphis AF, and that don't stand for Air Force.
Well, I would say.
I saw this and I thought of you, and here, I want you to have this. Memphis AF. And I had to go through my acronyms.
AF?
AF, yes. As the first word is as.
As. After.
Please.
After.
After
fart.
Don't go
after
there.
Fart.
Look,
after Frank's. After you ate a bowl of Frank's.
Why did I tell you? Why did I tell you? We had a great show. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
It's asphyxiated.
Back for more R&R after this.
It's your boy Chris Brown.
David West of the Golden State Warriors.
Hey, this is Dr. J.
This is Shaq Adocious.
Yo, what's up? This is Ice Cube.
And you're listening to a little R&R.
R&R on sports.
Blues in the basement.
Hello.
And the lyrics of the blues songs, like Bobby Rush, can sometimes be a little risque. We just got the music on.
Blues.
Instrumentals.
Loving it.
I don't care if you're young or old.
Blues in the basement.
Get together, let the good time roll.
Part of the Kazookian Network.
Welcome to another edition of Fly on the Wall. Recently, there was a meeting between Roger Goodell of the NFL and his public relations team about his future as commissioner of the National Football League. And now, listen in as you become a fly on the wall.
Hey guys, thanks for getting together on such short notice. Of course, you know the situation and...
Shut up, Pete. That's very rude. Let him finish.
Well, I'm just saying, things don't look so rosy.
You're right, and that's why you're here, because I need to know just how we need to spin this thing.
Come on, Raj. You're toast, man. So however we spin it, we've got to spin you out of there. Either you resign or get sacked.
But how do I keep my good name?
You're good. What?
Shut up, Pete. That's more rude than before. But I think I got something. You're going to resign because guess what? You're blind. You can't see. You didn't see anything. The video or anything else. So you're resigning from the NFL to be a blind singer. Why should Stevie Wonder and Jose Feliciano be the only ones? We can call you Roger Charles, Ray's distant white cousin.
What?
Come on, try this. I got a woman.
I got a
way
woman.
across town. She's good to me. Now try this. Baby, good. What I say.
Baby, what I say.
Baby, what I say right now.
Baby, what I
we'll
say
get it together.
right.
We'll get it together. Look, Pete, you still got Jay-Z's number?
Yeah, I got it. Just talk to Jay.
Call him. This is going to be great. This is going to be great. Come on. I got a woman.
I got a woman.
Oh, Lord.
Hello?
Hey, Jay-Z. Listen, man, I'm calling with Roger Goodell, man. He's going to be the next great. Listen to this. I got a woman.
I got a woman.
Way across town. She's good to me. Baby, it's going to be dynamic, man. It's going to be fantastic, but we need you to produce it, man.
Hey, B, put Blue down. Come on over and listen to this. Hey.
I got a woman.
I got a woman.
Way across town.
Way over there.
We can get it together in the mix, man.
Well, I got a woman way over town that's good to me. Oh, yeah. Say, I got a woman way over town, good to me. Oh, yeah. She give me money.
Riffin' on jazz.
So all the artists today must be ladies.
Must be.
Oh, my favorite.
You got a problem?
No, that's my favorite.
See, I knew.
Riffin' on jazz on the Kazookian Network. Kazookian.
Back for more R&R on Sports. So let's talk about the PGA. We started talking about the PGA and whatnot. We were talking about Tiger. As you well know, Albert Tiger Woods is directly responsible for a vast increase in golfers, period.
Absolutely.
Okay?
They started
building more golf courses. They started selling more golf gear and equipment and whatnot after Tiger started playing, because Tiger just captured the imagination of the entire world, and that's what happened. But most particularly among African American youth.
Very much so.
The question is, are you seeing that manifested in the limited occasions that you watch PGA on TV.
Well, I mean, you got individuals like Harold Varner, and you have others that I'm sure, but once again, when you start thinking about golf and more people playing, I truly see more people playing. I really felt that there's more people playing.
Did you?
I play more. I got 2 sets of golf clubs.
And
so
I'm supposed to be impressed.
Yes,
I know how that goes.
I got 2 sets of golf clubs, but and I wanted to correct you on there. It's Eldridge. It's not Elbert. It's not Eldridge.
Eldrick.
No, it's Eldridge. Anyway. So, when it comes to golfing, I find that there are many more African Americans playing golf. I just think they're playing it more recreationally and not seeing it those that are going on to play, more college and high school and college and so on and so forth. Now, you see what?
But you're not seeing them. You're saying you're not seeing them on the tour.
I'm not seeing them on the tour, but I think you're going to see more. It's sort of like what you're seeing with college football and HBCUs. I think you're going to start seeing HBCU teams be more aggressively and actually competitive. So you got the incidents where Steph Curry pretty much underwrote the whole Howard University golf team. Mm-hmm. And now you're seeing Howard players are ascending to the top because it's all about resources and having an opportunity to play on the best places, play at the best equipment, and so on and so forth. So that truly has an impact. But I think you're going to start seeing a lot more golfers now that you're seeing it at you got what's my man, J.R. Smith down at North Carolina A&T playing for the golf team, which I think is going to incent people. And then you got, Varner, who's swagged out in Jordan gear out there on the PGA Tour. And I think you're going to see more from Howard with the Super Under Armour.
I think that there are actually more young black players on the tour.
Oh, really?
Than we have had in the past.
I'm not seeing any of them.
Well, no. The reason you're not seeing them is because a lot of times, a lot of them don't make the cut. They start out, but they don't make the cut, so you don't see them on the weekend during prime time, prime golf time, and when it gets so much of the coverage. But if you went to the tournament and whatnot, you see them early on in the early rounds. But I think there's hope. I think there's a lot of hope in terms of that because I think there is a very definite next generation of black golfers, and I'm thrilled to see it.
Well, I think
and female golfers too.
Okay. Well, I think
a lot of them coming out of HBCUs.
I think the PGA has made a tremendous effort in really limiting the barriers and trying to eliminate barriers. But I think you're still going to have those institutions like Augusta that is really challenging for African Americans to become members and things like that. I think those issues still exist, and I think as we move through. As more African Americans are more successful at golf, I think you'll see even those barriers start to limit or be diminished, and I think we'll see more black golfers on the tour. I think that
and
on some of the lower tours. I think once again, you got to make those lower tours and so on and so forth to get to the PGA.
And even Augusta, somewhere as staunch and traditional as Augusta National is beginning to. I can tell you a black female member that they have.
Well, it was one of the first. I think the first
What's
black
her
member.
Name?
I don't know about it. I think Condoleezza Rice.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. See, don't be testing me.
Entirely.
Don't be testing me, man.
Well, I'm glad.
I got a brain like a steel trap, like a trap.
Okay. All right, steel trap. But it's good to see, and I hope I hope it improves. I hope it increases.
Let me ask you this: as an African American man that is a golfer, a serious golfer, you've seen golf evolve before Tiger with the Lee Elders and so on and so forth, Calvin Peets.
Absolutely.
Then you get to Tiger, and you're here. What would you say the future of golf looks like from your perspective? I think it
looks good because of one main thing. It is called exposure. I think First Tee and other programs have provided the necessary access and exposure for a generation or a couple of generations now of young black golfers. And that's what perpetuates and keeps talent flowing into the NBA or the NFL or whatnot. It's that exposure, not so much
exposure, but it's exposure coupled with the investment. And
access.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, but I'm not seeing that from a golfing standpoint. I'm not seeing the additional schools and things like that. Like the NBA. The NBA is setting up these academies all over the world.
PNG is doing stuff too. PGA
is doing the same thing
on the brain.
Well, I'd like to see what what the PGA is doing, because I'm really not familiar with their efforts outside of some of the work as far as training at the individual level. But let me ask you this: what's next? Say Tiger retires tomorrow. If he makes the announcement, "Hey, I'm out tomorrow," where do you see golf going?
Well, I see cats like Harold Varner III and others. Even Tony Finau. He's got the complexion for the connection. I know he's not African American, but close. But I think that they are poised to step in the footsteps and shoot the gap in terms of that. I really, really do. They're having success. They look good doing it too.
Yeah, they look good.
They look good,
man. Varner got the baddest Jordan gear. Man. I mean, his gear looks fly, man.
He's got a beautiful stroke, a beautiful swing, and all of that. I mean, you can look kind of fly. You can be pretty fly, and
can't play worth a damn.
Some of us,
some of us look better than we play.
Yeah. Here's what I tell my friends. Listen, if you can play this game, if you can play golf, you got a card in your pocket that says PGA and then 4 letters, TOUR. The rest of us are just hackers.
Just hackers.
If you ain't got one of them, then you a hacker.
Well, listen. Based on what we're talking about, we got a phenomenal guest.
All right.
And Richard Brown, who's PGA professional, I think the only African-American PGA professional trainer. Teacher. I mean, really a master teacher at the PGA Academy, and very involved with the diversity efforts of the PGA and the new move to Frisco, Texas, that the PGA just undertook. So listen, stick around, hang out, but on the other side, we got brother Richard Brown, master.
When we come back.
Human Speed with Kirk Whalum.
Avery Sunshine, I am just overjoyed to spend some time with you.
Listen, what you know about pot liquor? You from Memphis, so you know.
My favorite part of all of that, I'm like, don't throw that away.
Human Speed with Kirk Whalum.
Kazookian Blues in the Basement.
This is Malvin Massey here with you, along with my girl.
Cookie B, baby.
Cookie B. What? Good to see you, darling. I love it. We get to do this show every week.
Yes, we do.
I don't care if you're young or old.
Blues in the Basement.
Get together, let the good time roll.
Part of the Kazookian Network.
Kazookian.
Welcome back to R&R on Sports on the Kazookian Network.
Hey, man, it's my soprano.
Can you vary? I mean,
you want me to go back?
Yeah, some kind of variation.
Back, do my Barry White back.
You're not gonna keep
you will
it up,
never find.
No, I didn't say same. Okay,
what's up, brother? Who we got? Who we got?
Tremendous guest, man. We have a tremendous guest in representing my sport,
Your sport,
golf. Yes.
Bro, you
the
ain't
one
scored,
I do.
you ain't
the one I
scored
do
under
best
100.
now.
You ain't
the one
scored
I
under-
play best now. We've got master PGA professional Richard Brown, who's been teaching professionally since 1987. Richard Brown, welcome to R&R on Sports.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Absolutely, Brother Brown. Wait a minute.
Could you?
I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out what make a brother a master.
Could you teach
what make a brother a master?
Something like this. You see this guy, right? Could you think you could teach him?
Oh, most definitely.
Challenging.
Bro, I got a handicap of a -5.
Well, if I look at it this way, if
that's your IQ,
willing to learn, I am willing to teach. That's all that matters to me. If the person is willing to learn, I'm willing to teach. There we go.
Let's talk about. We like to get into the Cliff Notes version. Remember Cliff Notes?
Yes, I do.
We like to get in because we don't have all the time. We'd like the Cliff Notes version of your background. So let's start. We were talking about. You grew up in what? Northern California.
Northern California, born in San Francisco, raised in East Oakland.
Okay.
East Oakland.
Yes. I got people in Oakland.
East side.
And we were talking about you growing up playing you started out playing other sports. Talk a little bit about that and what got you into golf.
Well, at that particular point in time, I was really good at baseball. Baseball was my number one passion. Basketball would be my second. And I was a center fielder and pretty good hitter. And what happened was I was stealing first to second, catcher threw the ball, hit me in the ankle, shattered my ankle.
Whoa.
Oh.
So with that, I had to, once you get pins and things in your ankle and go through rehab, part of the rehab was I had to go to a golf course or start to walk. Mm-hmm. And me being in the inner city, there were some guys in the neighborhood who went to go play this little 9-hole pitch and putt called Lake Chabot Golf Course.
Okay.
And they said, well, you want to come with us to at least to walk around? I'm like, nah. Baseball is my thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now. And they kept hounding me to continue to come out there. So one day I acquiesced and said, okay, let's just give this a shot. I'll come out there. And it was rather hilly and it was difficult for me to walk because I was still going through rehab. And I said, well, let me try this stick. I didn't know any terminology. I knew nothing, absolutely nothing about the game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I could hit fastball, I could hit curveball, I could hit changeups, but I couldn't hit
I'm coming at you at 90 miles an hour, but this little ball standing still.
The ball on the ground, and I took some Herculean cuts at it, and it went farther than the ball. So with that, a couple of things happened. My frustration level went up, and my athleticism says, I'm not going to let this little thing on the ground beat me. And I kept swinging, and they started laughing harder and harder.
Uh-huh.
And then once I made contact with the ball, and it really wasn't the fact of where it went, it's just the fact of I made contact.
Right.
From that point on, it was over. That's when I became hooked.
Wow.
And my father was a Marine. And at that particular point in time, he was working 2 jobs. My mom was working 2 jobs. He said, son, you're going to have to find a way to support your own habit. And I'm 14 at the time. And this is in the day where you still delivered newspapers.
Yes, sir.
Right.
So, and one of the people in the neighborhood I used to deliver to was Joe Morgan. That's a whole nother story. But
Joe Morgan, a baseball player?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I used to play golf with Joe.
There it is right there, but that Joe Morgan right there, boy.
He's another East Oakland boy. My mom used to teach him when he was in high school. So
okay.
It was an interesting scenario. So to move forward, my father helped me on those inserts on Wednesday and Sunday mornings.
Okay.
And he saw that I was really smitten by this, and I continued on. Then I started to work at the golf course after school. I'd ride my bicycle, catch a bus, whatever. And this is before they had pickers on the range, which is the automated machines that pick up golf balls.
Right.
There'd be a whole bunch of other juniors and myself with a croaker sack.
Picking up those balls.
Picking up golf balls. And that was a way where we earned our keep.
Right.
And every once in a while, one of the pros would come out and help us and this and that. But I just became thoroughly immersed in the game. And I was really honored to work with a couple of Black professionals that unfortunately were blackballed by the PGA that really gave me a good solid foundation to help me to obtain my scholarship to go to Grambling State University and then coming back and then trying to be an aspiring tour professional. So that is the pretty much the Cliff Note version of how I got into the game.
So
back in 1973,
that was totally to the exclusion of baseball. I mean, once you started hitting that golf ball, you didn't go back to baseball?
I put it down. I put it down. I mean, I played basketball on and off.
Basketball.
Baseball was, and I still love baseball. I still love to watch it.
Right.
But my passion lies with that little peg in the ground and chasing that little white ball. And for me, it is the challenge. It's the, I call it golfer's crack, because once you eclipse a certain level, you're trying to recapture that feel. You're trying to recapture that score. And that's the elusiveness of the game.
They say that about one shot. They say that about one shot. I mean, every time we play, the guys I play with, every time we play, somebody hits a nice shot. Just one. They could have sucked the rest of the shots on the rest of the course, but that one shot, everybody say that one's going to bring him back.
Exactly.
That's the one that gets you sprung.
And that's the one that keeps you on the hook. That's the one that will basically where golf will become your mistress, for lack of a better term, where you will literally spend all of your waking time and discretionary income finding ways to either play or to practice or buy equipment or seek instruction to help you try to master something that we can't master. And that's the crazy thing about golfers.
Wow. This is R&R on Sports, and we're speaking with master PGA professional Richard Brown. Listen, unicorns, pink elephants, black swans. They're probably more prominent and present than a black PGA professional. So tell me, brother, how in the world did you go from Lake Chabot golf course, missing the ball, to being the first black PGA professional?
But there was a stop by Grambling.
Well, yeah, there was a stop in between there. To be the first master PGA professional. So so for me, it was a road that was not chartered to become a PGA professional. I wanted to be a tour pro. Right. I literally aspired to be the next either Calvin Peete or Lee Elder. Lee Elder was another one who stoked the fire.
Right.
Because he's a honorary fraternity brother of mine. To when I saw him get into the Masters, that really propelled me. And then going to Graham, at one point in time, I had the opportunity of being the first minority to play golf at Stanford pre-Tiger Woods. But being from Northern California, not really taking care of business like I needed to, I had the grades, but I didn't have the ACT and SAT score. So that went by the wayside. But to be honest with you, that was a lesson learned. That was a severe lesson learned, because when I got to Grambling, where in 1977, we had literally no street lights and no paved roads.
Right.
And when you see people that come from economic backgrounds that were more destitute than myself, and the only way that they were going to be able to make it was through education. And that's when the light bulb for me turned on.
Really?
Most definitely, as it relates to education, that's where it really stoked the fire. And my mother was a preschool teacher, and she taught GED, but it didn't click until I went to Grambling and saw others who were far worse off than myself, and how they excelled in the classroom, because they knew that was one of the only ways that they were going to be able to compete in the world. And one of our mottos is everybody is somebody. So that from that moment on, and the relationships that were formed at Grambling are still lasting to this day.
Absolutely.
And it for me, that is the bedrock of my foundation as it relates to education.
Real quickly before we go to a break, did your team, y'all played in the SWAC, right?
We sure did. Yes, sir.
Did your team, golf team, achieve some success in the conference?
No. If anything, it was more individual, because at the time, and this is somewhat a bone of contention, Grambling unfortunately sold the golf course that they had on their property to Louisiana Tech.
Oh, really?
So then we had the golf team for the first 2 years I was there. We didn't really have a team. We did not have a team.
Okay.
So with that, I was on the verge of transferring to come back to California. But one of my mentors, who was also a Grambling grad who played golf, he said, "You can get a degree anywhere, but a degree from Grambling State University, believe it or not, will open doors for you." And so thusly I stayed.
All right.
So, but in the SWAC, we really didn't have a good team, but it was more from an individual perspective where I had an opportunity to shine.
Good. Outstanding. We're talking to Master PGA professional Richard Brown here on R&R on Sports, and we're going to go to a brief break. See, notice how I said that consonant, brief break.
That's alliteration. Go ahead.
Look at you.
I'm good.
Look at you.
Good, brother. Hey, man, I went to an HBCU too.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. But the one-room schoolhouse before the HBCU was the thing I was talking about. Back for more after this.
Hey, I'm Williams Brack, co-host of Grind Set. The insight you gain from us and our guests will motivate you to take the leap into entrepreneurship. So stay with us. What's your grind set? And if you happen to miss some of our episodes, make sure to check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast provider.
Grind Set on the Kadzukian Network.
Back for more R&R on Sports with Master PGA professional Richard Brown. You talked about going to Grambling. So my experience with Grambling is that I've never been there. My daughter was a tennis player, and she ended up going to Southern University in Baton Rouge on a tennis scholarship. Grambling made her an offer, but I am so glad that we didn't have to go out there to visit Grambling, because that was way away. In Louisiana.
It's in the northern part of Louisiana, probably about 100 miles from the Arkansas border.
What was that like for a kid from East Oakland? And this was what you were there in the 70s?
1977, fall of 1977.
Wow.
2 words, culture shock.
Culture shock.
Culture shock.
Okay.
And this is where, not just culture shock from our own people, but being told there are places you cannot go to.
Right.
And coming from a metropolitan area and having some arrogance about it, it's like, you can't tell me where I can't go. Okay, that's fine.
Down here we can't.
Until you get there and you realize.
Until you get there and realize where you see this is the God's honest truth, a man coming out of his house going to a Klan meeting with his robe on, except his hood. And I got as close enough to see the insignia on his left chest. And then we exchanged words, and first he called me a boy, and I said, "I got you, boy." Then he called me the N-word, and that's when it hit me. It's like, Richard, you are in northern Louisiana.
Yep.
You know no one. This is your first week at Grambling. Your first week,
Wow.
and you could be lost and never heard of again.
Absolutely.
So next thing you know, there's nothing but an elbows getting out of there. And I got on the phone. And Grambling, we only had, in a dorm of athletes, you only had one.
On the end of the hall.
Oh, yeah.
One payphone.
One payphone. So I had to wait my turn to call my dad. I said, Daddy, get me out of here. And he stoically said, son, you made your decision alone. You live it alone.
Oh, wow.
Find a way to survive.
Right.
We didn't teach you to quit.
That's right.
So either you find a way to survive, or we'll come pick you up when it's time to come bury you. One of the two, but we're not coming to get you.
Beautiful.
Find a way to make it work.
My kind of dad. Listen, this is R&R on Sports, and we're speaking with Master PGA professional Richard Brown. Richard Brown, I asked a question in the first segment. Unicorns, pink elephants, black swans. There's very few entities like yourself. However, I want to take that question a little bit further. You were in the 70s. Golf was a white man's sport. So I would imagine that there was a certain level of
rich white man's.
Yeah. There was a certain level of people from the hood, so to speak, not really feeling you playing golf. Then on the other side, you had golf not really accepting black people. I mean, not being able to go to certain golf courses and the whole nine. So in essence, it's like a reverse Oreo. As the thing in the middle.
Yes, sir.
How did you deal with that? How did you deal with, number one, not being accepted or not being popular in your own community? Even at Grambling, I'm sure they wasn't running around the golf team.
No.
And the other side.
Well, I'll address the inner city piece of it first, where I was exposed to Black gentlemen who were bus drivers that worked for AC Transit, and they would come in a caravan and pick me up at 5 o'clock in the morning on weekends and take me to golf courses where I didn't have 2 dimes to scratch together, because they knew that they saw something in me, and they hardened me, because at that particular point in time we played a lot of ghetto golf, and ghetto golf is where you have a lot of distractions. And the distractions are to harden you for when you get into real life.
Wait a minute.
That's what Tiger's daddy did to him. I mean, in terms of distracted. Yeah, you talking smack and whatnot.
Jiggling change, dropping clubs, obscenities, you name it. Yeah. And for a while there, I was kind of shook, but then I understood what they were doing. So then there, to your point, there were places even in California that did not accept us. And me being 17, 18 years old and playing with gentlemen who are 35 and 40, they said, look, young buck, just watch how we do this. So they would go into the shop, and these were individuals that were in corporate America now, and they were trailblazers that came before me. And as the person behind the counter became more hostile, they got calmer in their conversation. And it got to the point where the person was so agitated, says, yeah, fine, let's just get your money and then go. And then he said, well, how would you like this? Because we can call the newspapers, we can call the news stations and have them come out here. No, we don't want that. So here's your green feed and you guys could go. Then they came out and said, what did you learn from that? I said, wow, I can understand. Words are powerful. And then how the context and the tone really is even more powerful. So, and then I've had golf tournaments stolen from me because of the color of my skin. Stolen from me because of, I shot the lowest score, but then there would be some infamous person coming in and winning. And I've also had others who are non-minorities, white folks, who would go to bat for me and said, this is wrong. Why are they doing this to you? And I said, exactly. Why? Why is this? So to your point, I have caught it on both sides of the spectrum. Right. In California, I caught it in Louisiana. To be honest with you, everywhere I've gone, even where I am now, I still catch it. And that's something that's going to stay with me until I am no more.
Okay, so hold on, wait a minute. I got just came to me. You was down in Grambling.
Yes.
On the yard.
Yep.
Girl come up to you and say, ooh, I like you. What you play? And you say, I play golf.
I play golf.
What was the response of the sisters back in the day?
Typically their heads kind of went to the side, and they really, it became a conversation piece.
Right.
Really?
Right.
To a certain degree, it became a conversation piece because more often than not, they hadn't been exposed to it.
Right.
So it gave me an opportunity of being able to at least explain what it is, what I do. And it after a while, people understood that, and they embraced it.
Oh, so, absolutely.
So were you the golf guy? Were you the golf guy on campus?
I was one of them, yes. Yeah. And I used to stay in trouble with Coach Rob because where my dorm was the football stadium, then they had the practice field. I would hit cut shots behind the real stadium onto the practice field, and I would try to count the balls. Every once in a while, I would forget one, and one of his football players, one of the boys, would get out there and sprain their ankle on a golf ball, and he would literally have a conniption, and he knew exactly where to go.
He knew exactly how it got there.
He knew how it got there.
Who was responsible.
Exactly.
Oh my! And they don't play with their football.
Not in those days.
Oh my goodness! That's phenomenal. That is phenomenal. Let me ask you this: based on some of those dynamics that you are talking about, are and we're seeing, based on the Tiger effect, we are seeing more black and brown players on tour in the PGA in general. Are they having to deal with some of the same mess? Does it still exist to any major degree?
Well, we're in a society now that wants to become diverse and inclusive, and to a certain degree, even you see the minorities on tour now, they still don't rival the numbers that were back in the 70s. There were more minorities.
They don't?
Oh, no.
There were more in the 70s?
There were more in the 70s on tour than there are now. Yeah. On the PGA.
I don't think I ever knew that.
I didn't know that at all.
That.
I've never heard anybody say that at all.
Yes. And even in the 80s, where you had people like Bobby Strobel and you had Jim Dent and George Johnson and Calvin Pete, you had a conglomeration of individuals that were out there. But to your question, it is nice to be able to see the representation that is out there now. And even though I'm not privileged to be able to talk to them because I'm not inside the ropes, but I can imagine that the road that they're walking is naturally their own path. Is probably a little easier than what it was than probably in the 70s and 80s, or maybe even before, like in the Charlie Sifford days. But I would still venture to guess that they're still dealing with some friction. I'll just put it to you that way. I still believe that they're probably dealing with some form of friction on one side of the spectrum.
Okay.
What's next for the PGA as it relates to the African American golfer, female as well as male?
Well, since I work for the PGA of America in the education department, I'm seeing more people of color in the building now, and in influential roles. Our CEO Seth Wall he's talking the talk, but he's also walking the walk. Okay. He's a different breed, and he understands what his role is as it relates to moving the association to higher and higher heights. Mm-hmm. And also allows me a little bit of the platform when I'm in the classroom, either virtually or in front of individuals. Once they get past as I call it, the sticker shock, I want them, and I try to explain to them, dare to be different. Mm-hmm. I am standing on the shoulders of giants who either in the association or weren't in the association, and eventually you will be standing on my shoulders. Dare to be different, because you have an opportunity now to being able to change the narrative, i.e. getting more minorities into the game, getting more women in because there are financial advantages to that. So that's why I say dare to be different. And I also challenge them by saying, I will never reach the pinnacle as it relates to education, but I really am enjoying the journey.
Do you have access to or the ability to interact with the young players of color on the tour?
I follow them on Instagram, and I basically try to reach out to them versus direct message, but I'm not really out in the field that much anymore. Okay. I'm pretty much sitting behind a desk and teaching teachers how to teach. So
teaching teachers how to teach. Okay.
That's literally what I do in the education department. There are six teachers on the education side, teaching and coaching side, and we work with we call them the associates, people in the pro shops and also in the universities, by helping them understand ball flight laws and how to be able to look and break down a golf swing and how to be able to interact and create those relationships and to be able to communicate to those individuals of the information that you have in your brain to get it to a point to where the student or the client understand it. So I am one of 6 in our department for teaching and coaching that basically now teach teachers how to teach.
I would hope that somebody in the PGA would have the presence of mind and understanding to know that you need, and others like you of your age and ilk, and there can be many, but such as it is, have access to these young players, because nobody had the kind of experiences within the game that you guys did. Nobody that's still around that can talk about it. And you guys can help them from a counseling and nurturing perspective and whatnot, because you know what you're looking at. You know what it's all about. Right. And they need to hear from you.
Yes, to be able to, as I call it, this particular stage of my life and career, I'm a bridge builder.
That's what you are.
Yeah, I build bridges now, and I'm very comfortable with this, whereas before I used to shy away from it. But I'm comfortable now in knowing that I'm building bridges not for myself, but I'm building bridges for others.
But you're something else too. You're something else too, and that something else is a griot. In African cultures, the griot is the one. The griots are the one who tell the story, who tell the younger ones and others what happened before them.
Yep.
And if you don't, there's nobody else around to do that. So I would hope that they would have the presence of mind to do that. And if it's somebody we need to talk to, pick up the phone, call, email, or whatnot, you tell us who it is. We'll do that.
We giving you your lifetime flowers today, Brother Richard.
Absolutely.
Because I mean, what you've been able to do and what you've been able to accomplish and what you've been able to contribute to the game of golf.
Speaking of flowers, I need to I do have to pay tribute to one person I know who is still living, who was very influential in my journey. His name is Ray Chester. He used to be a Oakland Raider tight end, and at Lake Chabot Golf Course, he used to own the pro shop. And when I came home from college, and one of my instructors, Mr. Johnson, was giving me lessons, and I asked Raymond, I said, Raymond, once again, I didn't have 2 nickels to put together. I said, Raymond, I need a job because Mr. Johnson is giving me instruction. He's not charging me anything, and I need a job, Ray. And Ray looked me square dead in the face, in the eyes, and told me, you don't belong here. And I'm 22, 23 years old, and I'm in shock because we're friends. We play golf every day with all the ex-Raiders, Jack Tatum and everyone else. And he says, you can play all the golf you want. You can hone your skills, but you will not have a job here because you don't belong here anymore. And as a young man with not having 2 nickels to rub together, it didn't make sense to me.
Right.
It makes sense to me now because he was literally telling me, you need to spread your wings and fly because he saw that there were things that I needed to do that I probably would not do if I stayed in Oakland.
All
so
right.
I have to pay Raymond his respect, and if it wasn't for Ray, I wouldn't be here today.
Shout out to Ray Chester.
Absolutely.
Thank you. And Richard Brown, thank you, man. We appreciate you being with us here on R&R Sports, and don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if sometime very soon the phone rings and it is somebody from here saying, hey.
Not a problem.
Doing the Jackson 5 invitation.
There you go.
I want you back.
I want you back.
Thank you for being with us here on R&R Sports. We will be back for more right after this.
Riffin' on jazz.
So all the artists today must be ladies.
Must be.
Oh, my favorite.
You got a problem?
No, that's my favorite.
See, I knew.
Riffin' on jazz on the Kadzookian Network. Kadzookian.
Welcome back to R&R as we head toward the door.
See ya.
So,
peace.
We want to say goodbye to a couple of people. One is Adrian Payne.
Man, yeah.
This is Draymond Green's boy, his partner, his teammate, played with him in college and
first round draft pick.
First round
draft pick.
And ended up killed in a domestic violence dispute of which he was not involved.
Not at all. Just trying to help.
Somebody brought him there as a peacemaker.
His girlfriend, from what I'm told, his girlfriend wanted him to help her girlfriend, her friend, and the problems they were having. She was having with her guy,
and he gets shot.
And killed.
My goodness.
Peace and love and blessings and everything goes out to the Payne family and all those associated
and
with
brothers, on
Payne.
this domestic violence thing, man, listen, just walk away. Just leave, all right? Please. Okay, so, and then your relative, and I'm just finding this out, I never, ever knew this.
Yep.
The late, great Bob Lanier. Yes.
Yeah, it's my relative, my third, fourth cousin.
NBA Hall of Famer.
NBA Hall of Famer. Man, size 22.
A literal giant.
And really a really, really nice man. Didn't know him well. Don't want to act like that cousin that, oh, yeah, we was cool. No, didn't know him well, but when I have met and been in his presence.
Which side? Your mama's side, your daddy's side?
Mama's side on that one. Mama's side.
Okay.
Part of the family straight out of Bell Buckle in Shelbyville, Tennessee.
How old was Bob?
I want to say he's late 70s. But nevertheless,
that
man.
Sounds pretty
sending out shout out to Big Cuz, and God bless you and the family.
All right. Be here. I'm looking at Jeremy like he got some numbers for me. I thought, normally he's like a German Shepherd, Jack. You throw it out there and he'll bring it back to you. He said he was 74.
74.
All right.
74 years
that ain't
old.
Too
Bob
old.
Lanier.
That's 4 years older than me.
Oh, man.
Thank y'all for listening to us here, as always, here on R&R on Sports. We appreciate you. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. My name is Howard Robertson.
And I'm the great one, Larry. I'm great, Larry. I'm almost one name status.
Almost is the functional word. Yeah, Larry Bird.
The great one, Larry Robinson, until I get there.
Y'all take it easy.
You've been listening to a little R&R on Sports, written and produced by Howard Robertson, Larry Robinson, recorded and mixed in Memphis, Tennessee.